In a previous video, I promised you I would test these relatively cheap Stabilo color pencils. So I ordered them, but after receiving them, something went horribly wrong. I wanted to open the package in this video, which I would be filming the next day, so I put them in my drawer and I went to bed. Then the next morning I found the pencils with the wrapper torn open, and I can only imagine what happened. So here's the pencils. Stabilo didn't put a lot of effort in the box, it's just a cardboard wrapper basically, but then again that's very eco-friendly and that's nice. It's also a happy wrapper with a lot of colors and some children on it, which is probably because these pencils are meant for children anyway. Now enough about the package. As you can see, there's not a lot of colors in the package, so I'm going to adapt my drawing subject to that. I'm going to draw the famous lime lips, but they're not going to bite on a lime. I'm going to get some revenge. I already made a quick sketch, so you don't have to wait for that and we can dive right in with the Stabilos. And I do notice they are thin, at least a bit thinner than my luminances and polychromos. I think they're more or less comparable to the Prismacolor Premiers when it comes to their diameter. But who really cares about the diameter of a pencil? And also, I'm not exactly sure if there even is a difference. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. The pencils are pretty cheap. They cost €8.29, which is amazing for when you don't want to spend half a fortune on pencils. They do draw nicely so far. As usual, I'm starting off with a base layer, which basically means I draw everything I want to draw, but very lightly, so I kind of get an idea of what goes where, and I can still correct things if necessary. Now, I know a lot of artists do not do this, drawing a base layer, but I'm kind of insecure and I don't want to mess everything up on camera, so I chose the safe route. Anyway, I do like these pencils for drawing the base layer. I'm using Strathmore vellum paper, which usually causes a very grainy look, meaning that you can see all those white spots in between the color. And that's normal, it happens even with the most expensive pencils on earth, but they're very pigmented. It doesn't take a lot of effort to get the desired amount of color on the paper. For now, it's just a very light layer, but it seems good so far. I'm kind of unsure about what to do with the teeth though, because I don't seem to have any light color and I could really use a very light gray right now. But I have to settle for using the only gray that's available, which is sort of a medium to dark gray, and then draw very lightly to color in the teeth. Now this means that everything is going to depend on the white pencil and the degree in which this pencil will blend. So it's a bit of a gamble, but I guess I don't have any other choice. Now I have been looking into a bigger set of these pencils, but all I could find was a set of 30 pencils, which is 6 pencils more than there are in this set of 24. But instead of using those 6 extra pencils for colors we actually need, like a very light gray and brown and maybe an extra light skin tone, because all we now have for drawing light skin tone is this one, there's just more greens, yellows and blues in there where we already have an abundance of. On the other hand, and in hindsight, the 30 pencil set was cheaper, so I probably should have picked that one anyway. Okay, so there we have the base layer. Now let's quickly get on to the rest of the drawing and hope that it actually starts to look like something. I'm going in with a bit more pressure now, hoping that I can get some vibrant colors here. And that seems to go pretty well. The pencils are not soft and creamy like the pencils from the higher segments, like the luminances and the polychromos. And this is probably going to limit the amount of blending I can achieve with them, but that's something that's easier to work around than like if they do not have a lot of pigment, which would be a bigger problem. But they're doing just fine when it comes to the pigment. They do really have a lot of color in them. Now for the lips, I'm only using 4 colors, a dark green, a light green, a yellow and a black. And these are exactly the colors I need, so the fact that I don't have a lot of choice isn't a problem here. Also, there is this salmon-like pinkish color which I can use for the gums and the tongue, combined with a bit of brown to darken it up. I think this pinkish color is the color that's used to draw light skin a lot. There's a color like this in most children's sets of colored pencils, but it's actually totally unsuitable for drawing light skin. There are, however, suitable colors to draw darker skin types, so if you're planning to draw people or portraits with these pencils, keep that in mind and choose either models with a darker skin tone or buy a single light skin tone pencil from any other brand, because this color simply isn't suitable to draw any type of skin with, unless maybe you want to draw somebody who has been in the sun for far too long and has a bit of a sunburn. That might probably work. Back to the green skin now, or actually the yellow spacesuit. Again, I have exactly the right colors for this, with a little blending here and there, but of course that's what I picked this image on. I tried to kind of crush yellow here between the teeth, because I really wanted to hurt for destroying my pencil package. Thank you, yellow, again. I am very happy with the black pencil. It's black, it's just so black. Sometimes when using cheaper pencils, you might encounter a black pencil with which you can draw all shades of grey, but just no real dark, intense black. This one's fine though, so that's great. Okay, so we have sort of a top layer, but I'm not happy with the result yet. I think it's still too pale and too grainy, and I'm going to try and get it a little darker and less grainy by going back in with more pressure. In the meanwhile, trying to blend everything a bit too. A technique that I have heard being called burnishing. And I'm not unhappy at all about how this is going. You can see how the colors start to come to life now. They're getting really rich and dark and saturated. The blending goes reasonably well actually, better than I expected. And for most parts of the drawing it goes well enough. The teeth, however, are difficult. Because I use the dark grey very lightly, the teeth are very grainy and the white pencil simply doesn't have the strength to blend this. Now, for those of you who use a liquid pencil blender, this might help. I usually do not use this, and I did not want to try it on this drawing because I didn't want to risk ruining it if it didn't work well with the Stabilos. So I decided to try it on one of the swatches I made before starting this drawing. And just so you can be sure these swatches are actually made with the Stabilos, here's me drawing it. And now let's get the zested pencil blend. Oh, it smells so nice, but it gives me headaches. But this works well. The pencils blend better when using some liquid blending fluid, which might be a useful tip for anyone who wants to use them. So I guess we're done with the burnishing, and I guess all that's left is to bring in the white gel pen and add some glossy highlights. Now there's not much to test about this, but I can confirm that it's possible to draw on top of a layer of Stabilo pencil with a white gel marker. Good to know. And there we have it, the finished drawing. I am not at all disappointed in those Stabilo pencils. Let me see if I can get a close-up so you can examine it from close range. It is a bit grainy, but like I just said, for those of you who have a liquid pencil blender, that would be a great way to fix it. And honestly, I don't think the graininess is that bad, and I might even be able to fix it if I just spend another hour burnishing. Which I'm not gonna do, but in theory it would work. So what is my final judgment? I like them! Considering the package costs less than €10, I am very pleased with the result. I think there's only two main downsides. The first being the fact that there's a few vital colors missing, and the second that they're just a tiny bit too hard to blend well. But they are very colorful and vibrant, and it was actually nice working with them. So if you can't or won't spend loads of money on colored pencils, but you still want to create nice drawings, I'd really strongly recommend these Stabilo pencils. They're nice. And I wasn't sponsored by them, so this is really my honest opinion. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel for more colored pencil related tutorials and tests. Now thank you so much for watching. As always, see you next time. Bye bye!